Good afternoon, everyone. The clock has now ticked past 6 p.m., so we'll get started with today's special investor briefing with UNITH CEO Idan Shmorak, who will be joined today by Rakan and Gianna from the product team to showcase some new tech. My name's Alfred. I'm from the investor relations team at UNITH and will assist with running today's briefing. Just a quick run through formalities. After the presentation, Idan will be taking questions from attendees. If you do have any questions for Adan, there's a button at the bottom of your screen marked Q&A with the little speech bubbles. Just enter them there and we'll get to them after the presentation. I won't take up any more of Adan's time. It's been a very busy few weeks for UNITH soft launching the platform. So Adan, let me hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Alfred. Good morning from Spain and good afternoon to all of our shareholders in Australia. My name is Idan Shmorak and I am the CEO of UNITH. Today with me, we have Gianna and Rakan from our team in Barcelona. I would present them on their parts, but they have spent some time with us and they bring a very interesting experience, each in their own field, and they would be assisting me with presenting some of our features. So this is our presentation, me and the little Babel, and we will just go ahead. So as Alfred mentioned, it's been a very busy few weeks from different angles at UNITH, all the way from the boardroom to product launches and of course a capital raise which we announced this morning. I'm going to touch every single part of these items, and together with Rakan and Gianna, we would try and paint a clearer picture of where we were until today and what have we done to get to the stage of today, and how 2024 is going to look like, with an emphasis on commercialization and product development. As I've mentioned before, these are parallel lines that UNITH is riding all the way to a clear product market fit and growth, which is obviously what we are eyeing. So I'm going to touch it part by part. As Alfred mentioned, we have some room for questions after. We would do our best to answer everything, but as always, we are available after this webinar. Just reach out to us or to Alfred via email and your questions would be answered. I would go straight away. So just to the new people to the story, and there's been a few in the last few months, UNITH is an AI company, a startup in a way. We have a legacy in which we create B2C mobile products. And in the last 2.5 years, we have become an AI player. We've restructured the company, opened an office with great developers in Europe, in the center of Europe, in Barcelona, which is a growing tech hub. And we've decided to tap into a more than $100 billion market. The conversational AI market is growing almost in 50% every year. And we are introducing a new part in it, which is digital humans. We have a competitive advantage. We make those digital humans in a way that was not possible a few years back, which allows us to become server efficient and cost leaders. And we basically democratize it. We want to give access to all kind of business in the world to create digital humans to be put on the website. Our digital humans are not only special by the way that they are cost effective, but also in their availability. They are available everywhere. They do not need an expensive device to be ran on, and they speak any language. We have successfully onboarded launch clients in 2023. We would expand a bit about how we're acting with each and every one of them, and how we're going to onboard more of them in 2024. Why and how? So we create AI lifelike virtual characters, avatars in a way, but they're super real. They're based on real people. We could synthetically create them, and they are meant to interact with with real people. They could do anything, which means they can onboard, they can support, they can recommend and upsell products. They could be your investor relations spokesperson, like we have on our website and soon with other companies as well. And they are providing a personal, entertaining experience. In the future, they would show emotions they would have, and already they have a very specific sense of humor that you could define, and they capture valuable insights that allows the conversation to improve with machine learning tools, but also the businesses to get insights. They could fit in almost any industry. As you would see today, we're focusing, as we are a small company, on a few industries that we've showed success already, and we would expand into them, but it could do onboarding for clients, which is something that we did today. We can do knowledge sharing and healthcare, which is something that we do today with our launch clients, the Alliance for Public Health. We can answer just random questions and answers for every website. And you can read yourself this presentation and get the potential of where this is going. They speak over 60 languages with, by the way, we would give an update also later on in the next few weeks, also about the company that we've invested in, Audio Stack, former Algorithmic. They have shown significant growth lately. So we are using their voices. They're our partner. They're always online, and they, as I mentioned, generate business insights, which is a very important point that we're going to touch later this year. Simplicity is of essence in creating every digital solution. You want to slash friction when you onboard clients. Rakan would expand on that, and we would show what we have done in order to achieve this. When you create a digital human, you choose a face, you choose a voice. You could create in the future your own, and you just upload a document. This document could be 1 sentence long or 2,000 pages long, and it would include everything that you want the digital human to know. Once you have uploaded this, you could test it. You could choose the suggestions for the user for the first interaction to know, okay, what am I going to speak with this digital human? You could define the personality, and instantly, or almost instantly, you would be able to create a digital human of your choice to speak on your behalf with the entire world. And with that, you're earning a way to humanize your interaction. One of the things that is most important for UNITH is to take our shareholders to a journey. The retail shareholders are the heart of this company, helping us moving forward. Their understanding of what a journey of a startup company like ours look like is crucial for our growth. We try and improve every year and every quarter and every week sometimes in the way that we tell our story and what are we doing, how are we growing. But one thing which was most important for us is building credibility to the market, saying this is what we're going to do in order to achieve our goals and reporting when we have done this. In the last year and a half, 2 years, we have grown an MVP, a minimum viable product. We've managed to onboard clients to this product from the software as a service side. And we managed to onboard launch clients that would help us to tap into industries. And this year, we are about to do this a bit further or much further with launching successful deployed products to these clients, onboard more of them, and allow self-service, which is a demand that we have seen from conversations with hundreds of clients, and Gianna would expand on that. We initiated for our other B2C business in-house user acquisition, enabling ourselves to reach company history records of user acquisition in order to bring growth. This has been shown in our financial reporting in revenue growth. And this year we would focus on the margins and also in by getting shareholder feedback, explaining better how this division works. This is something that we will touch later on this year. Let's touch the last quarter, which is the purpose or the original purpose of this webinar. So we have achieved the last software development milestone, which is the soft launch of our self-service platform. Rakan would demonstrate a bit of how it looks like and how it will look like in the future. But the important thing is that we have reached the milestone that we have wanted in order to move forward. And you're going to see the steps that in which we moved forward in a few minutes. We've successfully delivered launch clients projects on time in order to accelerate our commercialization of the product and get to new ones. And the self-service platform is, by the way, our tool to get more clients in less time. We have secured new partnerships, and that's just the start, just the taste in Europe, but we're working on further partnerships in Australia, in the US. This time we reported Union Avatars, which is a company that just does 3D avatars, and we have successfully integrated them into our system. And we are working on a very interesting partnership in which we would onboard some of their existing clients, and we would be able to refer some of our own to them. And we've managed a tight ship. You could see a revenue increase and a cost decrease in the last quarterly, and we intend to keep on that way. Corporate update part one, a capital raise. This is something that we have announced after a lot of other announcements, and we of course are aware of all of the discussions and that happen on both on social media and in other platforms, and we listen to shareholders. And if one thing was our compass, our North Star in managing this capital raise, was shareholder participation. Shareholders would get the same terms as in the capital raise, in the private placement that we've done with Evolution Capital. We've secured 2 million Australian dollars via placement, and we expect or we would allow ourselves to take up to 2.5 million in a rights issue. You could see two kinds of attaching options. It's written down, you've seen in the announcement, so I'm not getting into the details. But you see the first one is something which is very short term, which shows our belief towards the near future. And it potentially supplies the company with more resources after the European summer. This capital was done in order to allow us to execute the plan that we're going to present today, which is finalizing the platform development and initially going to market, including building UNITH as a key player in the AI industry. And one thing, and I'm gonna a bit accelerate my pace so Rakan and Gianna would have enough time to present. One thing that is important for us in 2024 is build UNITH as an AI brand to participate in conferences, which is something that we're going to do since this month, to market not only to shareholders, but mainly to customers that would hopefully become shareholders after, and build ourselves a strong client and follower base as a software player. I'm going to hand over the microphone, the virtual microphone, to Rakan, our VP of product, which brings years of experience in sales and in product management in large companies. One of them sold to HP. Rakan brings an incredible amount of value to the team with first a lot of patience and a lot of understanding where the industry goes. And the microphone hands over to you, Rakan.
Thank you for that, Idan. Thanks for that introduction. Hi, everybody. I'm Rakan. So I'll get straight into it. So when I think of 2024 and what we're looking to achieve from a product standpoint here at UNITH, it's really all about delivering a product or a platform that our customers love, which ultimately fuels user acquisition. So when today I actually use the UNITH Digital Humans, I want that conversational experience to be significantly improved. And what does this mean? This means when you ask a digital human a question, it needs to respond to you more faster than the way it responds to you today. The interface in which we interact with digital humans needs to be much more intuitive, from the way you chat to it to the way you actually speak with it using your microphone controls. We also want the conversation itself to be more reliable. Speed, intuitiveness, reliability, we see these as three key pillars, if you like, to truly gain adoption across a whole host of different businesses. I will touch on this in more detail in the next couple of slides, but our platform needs to be self-serviceable. We need to make sure that businesses, people like ourselves on this call, can very easily create their own digital humans. We also see a world where we, Idan touched on this with Union Avatars, where we partner very strongly with a whole host of different technology partners and build an ecosystem of tech partners who can build digital humans from within their own technology stack. So with that, we need to make sure that our API is robust and secure, that anybody can easily integrate with our platform. I think we know sometimes that you go to speak with a digital human and that digital human may not necessarily be available to you. From our perspective, this is unacceptable. We need to make sure that our systems are highly available. So you go to speak to a digital human, it's always there for you. You go to our platform to create and or to manage your digital human experience, the platform itself is always available to you. So we'll be investing a lot in ensuring this high availability. Hopefully, many of you have already seen that the library of digital humans that we have, and I'll show a little bit about this soon, is growing. We intend to continue growing this digital human library in a way which is optimized for AI. And what that means is you see very little artifacts on its face as it's synthesizing the speech, just because we really want that experience to be as realistic, as natural as possible. And then I always say, providing analytics for the sake of analytics is pointless. We really do want to provide meaningful analytics so that when businesses or brands are trying to connect with their own customers, they understand what their customers are interested in, what they're engaging with the digital humans about, why they're engaging with their brand, the way that they're engaging with their brand. So just diving a little bit further into this customer panel that I referenced earlier, and maybe touching on some of the successes that Idan mentioned. Hopefully everybody here is aware that throughout last year, and particularly in the back end of 2023, we soft launched the UNITH platform. What does this mean? We can today create digital humans to support a whole variety of different use cases in different industries, in different regions, speaking different languages. We can do this and we can do it well, and we're beginning to see the proof from what our customers and partners are telling us. The unfortunate truth is, and that's why there's an emoji of somebody lifting some weights, to create a digital human and to manage the digital human on an ongoing basis does require access, if you like, to UNITH internal resources, our development teams. You also do need to have more technical knowledge than we would like. So given that challenge, for us, a key, like the most important milestone, if you like, in 2024 from a product standpoint, is to make our UNITH platform truly accessible to anyone via a very easy to use user interface. So what I'll do now, I'll stop sharing and I'll switch to my browser to give you a first glimpse that if you like, of what this customer panel will look like. Just stop sharing briefly. Switch to top 2. Bear with me here. There we go. So this is our customer panel. I'm logged in as my own user with my own email account from UNITH. It knows who I am. When a user first logs in, the first thing they'll typically be prompted to do is to create a digital human. I'll go through and I'll create this full digital human. When you start the process of creating a digital human, you choose the type of digital human that you want to create. Most commonly, we create document-based conversational digital humans. This means that you have the ability, as Idan mentioned, to upload your knowledge base into, if you like, the mind or the brain of the digital human. Every digital human has a name. You also give it a voice. In this case, Silver is an English-speaking, Australian accented voice that we get directly from AudioStack, as Idan mentioned. And then most importantly, and I love this feature, is that as you are, if you like, personalizing and deciding the character of your digital human, you actually browse through and see in real time how this digital human will synthesize itself and look and feel for your brand. And you will see there's also examples where you have the same face, but perhaps a different attire or a different type of shot, close-up, medium shot of the digital human itself. For the purposes of this demo, I'll use Zoe. You may have seen lots of videos about Zoe. Sometimes we call her Cat. But inside UNITH, we're all gravitating to her. We feel that she really does represent our brand. So I'll stick with the Zoe face over here. Next up is us requesting, if you like, the knowledge base for this digital human. In thinking about this, Idan and I had a brief chat saying, we know we're going to make this announcement about the capital raise. Why don't we just show this as an actual use case. So this is the letter that goes out to shareholders that's explaining the details of the capital raise. When this is being uploaded, what's actually happening behind the scene is we're analyzing the document, we're summarizing the document, we're pulling out key themes about the document, and I'll show you why that's important later on. Next up, we always say this is super important. The way the digital human says hello to people when they first engage with the digital human, we call this a welcome message. I'm not going to go through and type this whole thing. I've copied something over here. I'll just paste it in. But this, if you like, is very much your first impression of the digital human. It gives you an idea of what to actually speak to this digital human about. So it might seem simple, but it's really important for the whole experience while you're interacting with this digital human. So here, I'm Zoe. I'm here to help you understand our latest placements, rights, and issue announcement. The next thing you'll see, while the document was uploading, we were analyzing the document. And we really do appreciate it. When you first engage with a digital human, it might be a bit daunting. Like, what do I actually speak to this digital human about? What do I ask it about? So what we do is we basically pull up themes that are relevant given the context of the document that was submitted and uploaded. And you'll see something like, where are the headquarters of UNITH located, right? And I may look at this as a brand person who wants to engage my customer thing. It's not actually something I want it's not important to me. Maybe I'll take this off. So you could pick and choose which of these you want to keep, which of these you don't want to keep, and then you can add your own. So like, how will the funds be used? For me, that's probably the most important thing because I want these funds to directly drive the execution of the product roadmap. So this is something that you would add in here, and then pretty much you're done. It's the last couple of steps are really around how you want users to consume this digital human. So how do we host it? The default view is UNITH hosts it. So you go to chat.unith.ai. I want to speak with Zoe, and you'll see her there through our own application. But we do appreciate, especially given the fact that we're seeing a lot of appetite from technology partners, that people want to take our digital humans and embed them in their own applications, or even our customers want to embed it somewhere in their own desired user workflow. And that's pretty much it. The very final step of the process is really just so that later, if you think of yourself as a company that's invested and has 20, 30, 40 different digital humans, some way of easily filtering and finding the last digital humans. So once you hit this finish button here, the digital human is ready. And as Idan mentioned, literally in seconds, this is a digital human that you can go in and you can start interacting with. I'm not going to interact with Zoe significantly. Never actually comes across as well as we would like because of the lag on a Zoom meeting. But we do encourage people to go to our website to access the digital humans that we are publishing, and we intend to publish many more of these across different use cases to go and actually interact with these. But I will
Hey there,
open up.
Zoe here. I'm a digital human from UNITH. I'm here to help you understand our latest placement and rights issue announcement published today. Feel free to use the suggestions below or shoot over any questions you might have.
So as you can see, that's the welcome message that you paste in. You get the suggestions over here that are very much related to the guidance that I want to provide, or I wanted to provide to users when they engage with the digital human. I will just go and click the how will the funds be used, because again, as I say personally, this is quite interesting or quite important to me because I want to take these funds.
The funds will be used for the general public launch of the digital human platform. Commercialization, marketing, improving user experience, enhancing conversational AI capabilities, analytics, and working capital.
and take that and basically leverage the funds from this capital raise to really ensure that we could drive our product roadmap and make it self-serviceable, make the product self-serviceable and very, very easy to use for everyone. So with that, Idan, I'll hand back over to you, and I hope everybody enjoyed this.
Rakan, thank you so much for this presentation. Towards the end, we would touch again and we would show the path on when and how this sees broader daylight beyond our initial customers. And this is one of our key milestones for this year. One caveat on this presentation, you've seen something that might change slightly in the way that it gets to market. One item, for example, would be there was a library of digital humans that Rakan chose from. You saw more than 8, maybe 9, 10 there. This would expand, but not to everybody. This is, for example, a broader selection would be for the premium users, and this is something that we intend to show a bit further down the year, but we're looking on and Gianna is going to expand a bit on that. This is a tiered software subscription. So you would get something in the beginning for free, and then later on, you want a more complex conversation, you want a personalized head, you want to choose from more realistic voices, you want to clone your own, that has a different price tag. Now, I would pass the microphone to Gianna Gard. She's been with us since even the company had a different name. Brings years of experience as a marketing director at US companies, and moved here to Barcelona to take part in this journey with us. The microphone goes to you, Gianna.
Thanks, Idan. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me share my screen with you. All right. So we're excited to share a little bit more on our customer success approach. As Idan mentioned, I started more on the marketing side of things, which has actually been a very helpful asset in moving more into customer success and service as we're trying to build this user-friendly product. So over the past almost 2 years, more like 1.5 years, we've conducted literally hundreds of interviews with different prospects, different partners, different customers, and we found there's a chronic problem for most of those B2B types of clients. One of those is that we live in the age of information. We're inundated with information, and the retention of this information is very, very challenging for businesses to accomplish. This is regardless of industry, but across the board, we've conducted a lot of informative qualitative interviews to kind of understand better how this problem works. And as we've narrowed this down, we found, particularly within HR, customer success, healthcare, and entertainment, there's a special need for either engagement or for retention of said information. And so essentially, we've kind of really narrowed our focus to be a bit more, what we would call T-shaped. So we want to have some level of breadth to serve different types of clients, but we really want to focus on the depth of specification and utilization for a specific type of industry. As you can see on this map, these are all the locations where we currently have clients, which we hope to expand, and we will expand this year, especially with the self-service platform. So we have within EMEA, US, South America, and we also have Australia as well, of course, within those 4 main pieces. So by the end of Q3, we have a few quick updates to share with all of you. UNITH will be launching a government-backed pilot project in the EU, and there's plans for expansion into new territories for this. There's a few other things that are under the hood, so until they're finalized, I won't share them now. But what's been interesting about this journey is really being able to understand the need for specific type of language. We've done a lot of work with localization of languages, the modifications of knowledge bases, and how the language models work well with these knowledge bases. We've done everything from demos to digital healthcare workers, to insurance brokers, to entertainment, to product marketing representatives, brand ambassadors. There really is a very broad gambit of the types of usage for these digital humans. And each day when somebody comes to us, whether they're in a specific industry, like mentioned before, or they're very passionate AI enthusiast, we really do appreciate and have learned a lot about the different types of usage for these digital humans. As a side note to this, we will be targeting larger customers for commercialization, especially as we move more into a self-service tool. So our current approach to customer success is to really be a champion for our current clients. And this covers everything from round-the-clock support, but also marketing ventures. So what's very important to us is that we provide a marketing or a social media type of strategy for our clients to use, so that their digital humans can get as much usage as possible. And we continue to kind of create and build our audience organically by seeing the work in action. So as I mentioned, this self-service product, we're just going to share a little bit more on commercialization. So we have what we'd like to call a sustainable and scalable business approach, which it is. But like Rakan and both Idan mentioned, this is more of a tiered pricing with different levels of customizations and features. So the benefit of building very broad tech stack, a tool that has a lot of different capabilities, is we have a lot more flexibility in kind of providing a more customized, more bespoke solution in a subscription. So this will be either by basic, pro, business, enterprise. We have these different tiers with customization. We've also seen, as Rakan mentioned, with our partnerships, a lot of interest in purely the visual or purely in the vocal as well. So this is something that really will also help kind of put us more into an income flow, a revenue flow, as we switch over to the subscription model and we're able to compartmentalize the components of the tool. In addition, as I mentioned before, this is a big focus on partnerships with key industry players. So we've seen a lot of interest from consulting, from AI, from innovation strategy consulting firms, that is to say that have a captive audience or captive client base already that are very passionate about AI, but also about digital humans. And what's interesting is what we're seeing is a much more ready, scalable solution than, say, perhaps some other heavier 3D rendering alternatives. This is a very compelling use case for potential clients, and one that we really plan to expand, especially as we move into the product launch. So overall, our approach is to really nurture the existing client base that we have, promote them, empower them, enable end users to increase. Our goal, of course, is to increase our user acquisition. And this is something that kind of goes hand in hand with going after bigger clients and having a very broad user base. But this is something that we're targeting alongside, of course, a custom self-service type of tool, which will be a little bit more self-serving. And in the meantime, we can really target our marketing and customer success approach for some of those big accounts. So that's all I have to share today. I will pass it back to Idan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gianna. I would start by thanking again Rakan and Gianna for the great presentation. It was super important for us to show a bit more of the team, especially in weeks like the last ones, when there was a lot of focus, especially around the boardroom events or management announcement or related announcements. It is very crucial to us, and there is a slide on that, to emphasize that this is the team working and building the UNITH product. I build an iron cast, or I try to protect the company and the operational teams that are building, commercializing, selling the product, and to keep some sort of an iron dome between AS6 related quote unquote dramas, which is a natural part of being a listed company in our size. We cannot deny that this kind of setup requires sometimes more attention or less attention, and it's important for us to state very clearly It doesn't have to do anything with the team. In fact, only before the 249D announcement, 24 hours before that, we chose to notify the team just for corporate transparency and good governance. But this is something that is dealt completely on the board level. I'm going to mention a few more words on that in the next slides. Before I continue to the slides, just some frequently asked questions. Because I know I know that we're going to get this after. So we said now entertainment, healthcare, onboarding, and people naturally come to us and they say, Idan, it could be everywhere. It could be literally anywhere. And we say you're 100% right. But when we look on our enterprise sales or business to business sales, we must apply focus because we need to target our teams on who to communicate with. Now, it doesn't mean that in the next year, we're going to see only healthcare entertainment, but this is where we are going to focus we are reaching out actively and are in in-depth conversations with players from those industries. And as mentioned, the partnership strategy is a valid, important one. UNITH is a small company, and I'll be back at the presentation now, but I would emphasize we have built this product with very little investment related in relation to how much does it really cost to build such a complex, deep tech product. If you look and you Google competitors, and you would see the amounts of funding that has been raised in order to develop products that sometimes are not even as good. You would see numbers that are a minimum $50 to $150 million US in investment, while UNITH attracted since the establishment of the Barcelona office a bit more than 9, hopefully 11 with the rights issue. And we're talking on Australian dollars. So it's around the $5 million US, deducting how much it costs to be a public company. So I have a great amount of appreciation to everybody that is involved in this project for doing a lot of heavy lifting of a platform that works smooth and is able to onboard and provide value to customers on a really modest cost basis. A few words on the subscription division, and we would give it a bit more airtime on future updates. Just a reminder, this is a legacy division that we have in a way inherited from the old business, and we love this division. It creates profit. It has generated 4 million Australian dollars in revenue in financially 2023, and we are expecting growth in 2024. Why? Because we've changed the way that this division works. We would change it a bit more down the way because we have managed, from one hand, to apply technology in this very traditional industry with very basic apps, which allowed us, one, to acquire more users. Second, to open doors on where we can commercialize as we work with telco partners like the ones that you could see the logos of. We have also, from the other hand, changed the way that we internally access users, and we were able to spend more money to gain more revenue. And this year, we are focusing on expanding the margins and increasing the division's profitability, all together with keeping positioning ourselves as a tech leader in this industry, which is not an easy thing to do, as the industry is relatively complex in regulation and in access. But we are really expanding and changing the way that this division works. The little bubble with me will come back now. There I am. Now, the latest board updates, as we call it, and as I mentioned, there was a Section 249D filing, and I would refer very quickly. This is something that does not affect the day-to-day operations, and the fact that it went out as an announcement and we couldn't solve it internally is very unfortunate. Trust me that there is nothing that me personally and the board with Zitze, Justin, and Scott, and together with Melanie, our CFO, there is nothing that we wanted less than dealing with this. But the fact that it is out, the fact that that I'm referring to this now, and the fact that this might go to a shareholder vote, is that we do not compromise on standard of ethics, on governance, and transparency. And I'm not going to touch in detail of what happened there and why, because the board, and I'm also signed on that letter, has sent an update providing a bit more of an update. but there's been some event. It's just that they not cross the threshold of what we think should be the right thing in good governance, and that's it, period. It does not affect the daily operations. I know I said it for 3 times, but it's important to note. It does not put the company at any legal risk. It does create noise, but mainly for the board and management. But again, to the people that are working and getting the product out there, it does not distract us for 1 second. And one thing that we see is a positive in all of that. We've seen what we have built with shareholders. The moment that this came out, we got more positive phone calls of, Idan, what is it going to be? What do you need from us? Instead of strong or meaningful long calls, which we explained it. They existed, but we got a lot of support. And I want to thank all of the shareholders that are here and that are watching this later on YouTube or on our Twitter page by just saying, hey, Dan, we're here for you. No need to call. So we appreciate the support. We will, of course, keep the market updated on how this unfolds, but we are very confident, even if it gets to a vote, which would probably be synced with the EGM in regards to the private placement authorizations if needed. And we are positive that the path of the company would not get hurt. To summarize and then just to show a bit of a roadmap. It's important for us, as I said at the beginning, to be consistent. Sometimes it is boring for the public, let's call it a microcap market on the ASX to hear the same story. But for us, we're proud of it because we are getting towards a product that sells, that would have a name. And this year we would actually focus on building our brand, building our name, marketing to customers, and getting the user experience better. We are completely transparent with ourselves on what the product should look like and how should it improve. And you would see that on the roadmap, one of the key milestones for us is to improve the latency. Now, it's not that if I could go to Rakan and the engineers and to tell them, hey, can you please make it faster? And it's not that they say, no, yeah, it's gonna take 1 week, it's gonna be faster. It's an ongoing iterative process in which in every month, every 2 months, every quarter, we slash 10, 20, 30, 50, 90% of the latency, of the response time, which is to our belief, one of the key catalysator of what's going to make the software great. 2024 is a year that is going to change the world, in my view, or in our team's view, and how people use technology. The generative AI landscape is massive, and it's not only a massive market in terms of dollars. There's going to be a huge change in how humans access technology, access information. If 5 years ago we would Google something, and this would be to someone from the past, from 15 years ago, if someone would jump to 2019 and you would see, oh, wow, you could Google stuff and you could get all the information in the world. You just need to search for it and see what's right for you. Today, you go to ChatGPT or other large language models that would arise and would go to public in 2024 and get all of this information crunched out, if you want, to a single sentence, which is really accurate. And this is changing the way that people access information. We are a part of this revolution, and we are developing a product that would have a huge market. Now, we need for that, especially as a public company in Australia, to have our shareholders with that understanding. We're developing something big that is going to have a huge market. And it doesn't matter if there are going to be 5 players, because we were there before that would do the exact same thing, which would not assess. We would get our niche, we would get our own market expertise, and we would lead the path with our technology. We bring, as our chairman of the board says, a lot of technology push, but we are also seeing the market pull. So we are getting to a place in which we see more and more clients asking us, where are we embedding AI in our industry, in our business? How can I be an AI leader in X type of business? And we are there to facilitate this. And as I said, no external effects from the external, let's call it external noise. And I want to thank very deeply the board of directors and Melanie, so to Zitze Wulon, Justin Baird, Scott Myson, and Melanie Muldenhauer to be, as they were very patient and supporting throughout this whole 249D shenanigans, and we hope to see this end soon. Just a word on the roadmap, and then I'll leave 15 minutes for questions. So this will be, of course, announced to the it's a standalone announcement, this PDF, and there are a lot of items here. There are more items in the actual internal roadmap. For each team, we have commercial teams, we have R&D, we have people that are developing the platform, and we have marketing and sales. We are getting to December 2024 with a full running customer panel like the one that Rakan demonstrated that anybody in the world could access. We would have a faster conversation. The goal, and it's going to be hard to achieve, but we'll make it. The goal is to not feel the latency. So the feeling that you're getting is that you're in a conversation like with me or someone that you know or that you don't know. The experience is going to get more personalized, and that is from the platform perspective. From the R&D perspective, which is a process that is running in parallel, we want to add ingredients like expressive talk, emotions in your feeling, laughter, sadness, empathy, things that would get, and I believe that the industry would be in a completely different place in 2-3 years from now, when it would be literally hard to define and see, am I speaking with someone virtual or real? And this is where ethics comes. And I actually want to mention 1 minute about ethics. This is something we deal with heavily. And it comes not necessarily all the time from management, but also from the engineering and commercial teams. And we are asking ourselves, how do we act as an ethical partner in this market that grows? Because we don't need to wait for the EU that does legislation and have already presented a draft, by the way, or to the US government or in the Australian government in the future to say, how can you use AI? We will be ethical from ground zero, which means we would make sure that the people that are speaking with a digital human, they know that they are speaking with a digital human, that the information is verified, that people cannot misuse the platform. And I'm pre-answering a question that I was asked before, how can we make sure that people don't create digital humans of people that are not authorizing their usage? Or apply profanity filters, and these are all items that we're touching on. And this is why, by the way, the create your own head would not be something that users would be able to automatically do from day one, but would be something that we add over time or done in direct communication with us through the enterprise package. And the last item, and again, I'm not touching item by item, but I'm happy to answer questions later on that, is we would present the pricing model. We have a pricing model. There is a reason that we don't expose it yet, which is strategic commercial. The second one is that we are going to build ourselves commercially as a key player, which means attending industry events. We're going to attend the Mobile World Conference, which happens to be in Barcelona, but it's a worldwide huge event here in the end of this month. And we have a plan for events in the rest of the year, and we will announce accordingly. And the goal for this is to just run around there with a team, as a team with phones and iPads, digital humans, presenting it to the world, showing it to the world, building partnerships, building clientele, and see where the industry goes, because these conferences are a great glimpse to the future. So you see future technologies, and we're part of this future. And that's it. I'm gonna leave 12 minutes for questions, and I want to thank everybody for listening, and especially to Rakan and Gianna for waking up early. And you can see the sun rises behind us while we speak in Barcelona. So thank you very much again.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Idan, for that informative presentation. We have had quite a few questions come in already, so we'll get through them quickly. If anyone does have any, please enter them for Idan in your Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. There are a few that Idan did touch on towards the end of his presentation. So Michael and Stephen, about the ethics and uploading your own image. I won't ask that one. Idan, the first question comes from Stephen. Audio Stack seems to have some really good voices. Will UNITH customers have access to this range of voices?
Thank you for the question. The answer is yes. They already have access to these voices, and we have a great relationship with Audio Stack, originally Algorithmic. That's an investment that the company has done in early 2021. And this company has grown significantly. We are in very close touch with that company. We literally are in the same building, and we're in close touch with with the founders as well, and it's amazing to see how their business grow and how generative AI grows, and they are a part of it, and we are a part of it. So yes, clients would have access to these voices, which is a library that is growing. And as I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to provide a very positive update on this investment as they grow in an impressive rate.
You. Question from Mark. How did you determine how much funds were required for the marketing of the digital human platform? How will we advertise to gain maximum exposure?
That's a great question, Mark. So the marketing that we would achieve in 2024 would be to raise awareness. There is a difference between the marketing for the initial market penetration that we intend to do in 2024 and mass marketing of a self-service platform, as this is a different spend and it would be a very specific budget. And we would learn towards 2024 to segmentate the markets in which we would market on, because there is a difference between putting a billboard on or hearing from a tech influencer on a software which is cool like UNITH, or hearing an article on television and seeing the online ads. We would do all of them, but massive user acquisition for millions of users, which are the numbers that we're looking on long-term from our platform, is a very specific budget, which is hefty. So we are going to assign a very specific budget out of our working capital in order to find the most effective ways, because one classic startup mistake is to spend a lot of money towards the wrong direction, and this is how online marketing works. So as we have built a very lean startup in the way that we operate, we will do the same with the market, and we will make sure that every dollar spent on marketing goes back to us in the highest likelihood possible.
Thank you. Just another follow-up there from Mark. Do you have any expectations on number of customers acquired within a certain time frame, and will this number be reported regularly to shareholders?
So we would report regularly to shareholders as much as we can. We have an embedded issue with UNITH, and the embedded issue is the history. Every time that we want to announce a specific deal, we might get headwinds from the AS6 because they have compliance that they need to follow through. And sometimes clients that we onboard are material to us because of the tech advancement, because of the industry that we're penetrating into, and not necessarily because of the monetary value. To the AS6, they allow announcements usually that are material. So sometimes they would say, you have this update, wait for the quarterly, which is of course, and I know, and me as of course as the CEO, I have the clear incentive for every little advancement that we do to be announced tomorrow. It's not that we choose to hold announcement. We work on strict compliance and we try to keep our governance levels to the max. So we are sometimes limited with what we can announce. We would announce progress. We would not necessarily announce the targets that we have internally due to the compliance and what we can or cannot do. But we would be as transparent as we can. And one thing, you would see more digital humans out there, and you would get a sense of what's coming out, to what industry we're presenting. So through following the company as just a follower, not necessarily from the investor perspective, looking for me to bring an announcement. Yeah, we said 9 healthcare and it's 10 healthcare. It's not gonna be like that. But you would see from the digital humans that are going to the website, which is by the way going to get a facelift, a very meaningful one towards the platform launch. So you're gonna get a sense of how things are going to look like.
Thanks, Idan. Question from Joe. Can you clarify that the client will be able to stream the digital human from their own website using an API or widget?
Yes, I think we're kind of brought a very original, great approach to the team in the terms of ease of integration. So I don't want to confuse people with curse words like API, but generally today or tomorrow you could see a digital human on a landing page, which is a separate page that could be hosted either with UNITH or with your website. Let's say Alfred has alfredchen.com. Then it would be alfredchen.com/Connor, which would be the name of the digital human. But it could also be at the front page of alfredchen.com just embedded in a square. You're going to see it very soon in the UNITH website, and you can see it with one of our clients, I think AZ Billions. If you go into the website, you would see it embedded on the top right corner, just like a chatbot. So we bring a lot of very easy integration tools. The most simple of them is the similar or comparable to how news sites are embedding x.com or Twitter tweets. So they just paste a code snippet, and there you have the tweet, or in our case, you would paste a code snippet, and you would be able to get a square with your digital human.
Thank you. Question from Daniel, and I'm not sure if he's talking about the digital human platform or the B2C subscription division. And he's asked, have we lodged our app on both app marketplaces, and have they been approved? Are we limited to any regions or countries?
So I would try and refer to this generally as we have a few apps. I would imagine that Daniel is referring to the travel app that was just kind of shared socially through the Track Concept subscription division channels. So this is an app that we're starting commercializing this year. We just launched it, and we're working towards market approvals. It is not an app. It's not a standalone app. That's an important caveat. It could be, but in a way of commercializing B2C products with the subscription division, we use web apps. Web apps are exactly like any other app. It's just that instead of downloading it to your phone, which requires friction and different kind of billing system, you would access, or our clients access, these apps through a domain on the internet. The digital humans do not need a standalone app to run on. They can run on your Chrome, Safari, or whatever browser that you use on your mobile phone. And this is how we commercialize it. So it would be available wherever we launch it. We are working towards approvals of the first launch touch points for this year. And we are also working on some cool collaboration in terms of specifically this travel app.
Thank you. Question from Jeff. When will UNITH and the platform be ready to target higher revenue enterprise customers? E.g., we have a top 5 tech giant as a customer, but nominal revenue flow at this point of time.
Okay, that's a great question. So I'll refer quickly to the Big 5 client, which is still using our system, and we get a lot of questions on it, which is justified because it's a big name that we couldn't expose. And as I mentioned, every time that we touch base with shareholders, I would love to expose that name, but we're limited with the agreement with them and with the materiality of this contract, which is still not fruitful in huge numbers. So to the question of when are we going to get to huge numbers with, for example, the Big 5, or if we get another Big 5, 10, 15 clients, we're in conversation with them. And as the organization gets bigger, or as the bigger the organization that we speak with, the slower the decision. I can say, Gianna, a bit laughing because it's something that we deal with a lot with them. Is the organization gets bigger, it takes longer to get approvals of expanding there. Big organizations, they develop their own system, they want you integrated with them, and then comes the dilemma: do we go and we customize the hell out of this system to get a big name announced and potentially a material deal, or do we go towards the bigger market? And this is something that we're trying to balance. So we still have the client, we're trying to expand. We don't know if we would know when we would sign them on a bigger contract. We would, of course, be in a different place. But there is a level of uncertainty in this market, and we keep this client as close as we can. But with that, we're getting meaningful material, other wins from other places as well. So we are continuing in the close work with them, but also we're opening new doors in other places as well.
Thanks, Dan. Just another from Mark, and this is the last time we'll touch on this theme about the customers. How long do you anticipate it will take to attract 1 million users to our self-service platform?
The honest question is, I don't know, because it depends on a few factors. There are the speed to market of our platform, the budget that we would have. Because again, I could say, let's go, let's spend millions of dollars on marketing, and we would probably get a million users to the platform, right? Signing up. This is doable. If you buy 100 million users, doesn't matter the stage of the platform and where it's built, and we know when we're going to finish to build the platform, and it's in the roadmap that we've shared today. The question is, how do you buy the users in a cost-effective matter. And there's going to be a learning curve this year, including the balance between enterprise clients, B2B clients, and the self-service clients. And with that balance, we would be able to educate ourselves better on how much is going to cost us to get to the 1 million clients. And with that, we would keep building the name, keep building the brand. So we can't commit on specific guidelines or deadlines for when are we going to get to 1 million users, but we know that we're going to get to significant compared to the 2023 benchmark, to a significantly bigger amount of B2B clients, of self-service clients, and of tech development, and we would keep the market informed as much as we can. And just one late note on it, and I know that there is the need and care to know, when are you going to explode? When are you going to get, when is this going to be anywhere in big? We're working as fast as we can with the size that we have and the budgets that we have. And we are trying to keep over delivering on it. And every milestone that we give, we have, I think in almost every milestone in 2023, we have delivered ahead of time, because we plan and we derive some times for ourselves to be able to deliver things on time. So we hope to bring positive surprises in 2024 in terms of our traction.
Thanks, Idan. We are starting to run a bit tight on time, so I'm just going to ask probably about 2 or 3 more, and then we'll wrap it up. One more from Stephen. Do you think that investors fully grasp how game-changing the UNITH technology can be to businesses?
It's a good question. I think we can definitely get better in it. And this is one of our key focuses to 2024. And we're going to achieve better market traction just by, and I know I said it already twice in this the past 63 minutes, we're going to market to customers and not necessarily to shareholders. And those customers will become the shareholders with the belief with the understanding of what we have in hand. And second, we will attract more and more clients. So no, we're not good enough in this. I think we have made a very long way, and you could see this in the shareholder loyalty that we've seen in the board spill. But this year you would just see more digital humans, more people are going to interact with them, and then the value and the potential would be self-explanatory.
Fantastic. All right, we are now out of time, so I'm going to wrap the questions up there. There's about a handful that we'll get back to offline. But if anyone does have any further questions, please feel free to email them through. A recording of this webcast will also be made available on the UNITH website tomorrow. But Idan, Rakan, and Gianna, on behalf of all shareholders and those in attendance, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great afternoon and evening in Australia. Gianna, Rakan, thank you for your time. Have a great day.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks, guys.